Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now we are continuing our topic of bacterial pathogenesis. Till now we have discussed about endotoxin and various other variant factors. Now we are going to discuss about the exotoxins. The exotoxins are usually having two subunits, A and B. A is the active subunit that possesses the actual toxic activity, while the B is the binding subunit that is responsible for the binding of the exotoxin to specific receptors on the membrane of human cells. So exotoxins, they usually act through various ways. They have various methods. What the most common of those procedures is the adenylate cyclase activity. Exotoxins will cause the ADP ribosylation of the regulatory proteins in the cells that result in the activation of those proteins or inactivation of those proteins. So these changes in these proteins will activate the adenylate cyclase or guanylate cyclase that will convert ATP or GTP into cyclic AMP or cyclic GMP respectively. This may lead to the activation of various proteins including enzymes like protein kinase A or protein kinase G that will in the end turn many protein enzymes on and off, controlling the cell division and smooth muscle contractions. So in this way the actual result, the actual effect of the exotoxin will be revealed. There are various organisms that are having exotoxins that usually act through adenylate cyclase pathways or ADP ribosylation, like cholera toxin that acts like ADP ribosylation of G protein, causing increase in adenylate cyclase activity, increasing the cyclic AMP production, and eventually causing watery diarrhea. Same is the case with pertussis toxin that usually cause ADP ribosylation of the G inhibitory proteins, and inactivation turns on adenylate cyclase that cause increase in cyclic AMP to cause symptoms of whooping cough via damage to the mucosal lining cells or the cell death. E. coli is having two toxins. Actually, this is a special strain of E. coli, that is enterotoxigenic E. coli, that is having these two toxins. One is heat labile toxin, the other one is heat stable toxin. Heat labile toxin acts through adenylate cyclase pathway, and heat stable toxin stimulates the guanylate cyclase that will increase the concentration of cyclic GMP to cause diarrhea. Same is the case with other examples like Bacillus cereus and the diphtheria toxin and the Pseudomonas exotoxin. The diphtheria and Pseudomonas exotoxin, they usually ADP ribosylate the elongation factor 2, inactivates it, and hence causing stoppage of the protein senses. Another method through which exotoxins really uh, they reveal their effects is through alteration of ribosomal RNA structure, like in case of special strain of E. coli, that is enterohemorrhagic E. coli. So its toxin, its exotoxin usually act with this method, the alteration of ribosomal RNA. So exotoxins, they usually act through various ways. They have various methods. What the most common of those procedures is the adenylate cyclase activity. Exotoxins will cause the ADP ribosylation of the regulatory proteins in the cells that result in the activation of those proteins or inactivation of those proteins. The Clostridium difficile is having two type of toxin, exotoxin A and exotoxin B, and the main method of the procedure through which they usually act is the glucosylation of regulatory proteins. So hence this is another method through which exotoxin can act. The Clostridium perfringens exotoxin is a lecithinase that hydrolyzes lecithin in the cell membranes. The lecithin is actually a component of cell membrane and hence resulting in the destruction of cell membrane and eventually causing cell death. So few of the exotoxin, they act as super antigens. You would be remembering that super antigens are actually those antigens that usually stimulate multiple clones of T cells, hence like increasing an enhanced immune response through those T cells. So the examples related to the super antigens include the toxic shock syndrome toxin produced by Staphylococcus aureus, or like erythrogenic toxin produced by Streptococcus pyogenes, that also acts as super antigen, that is usually responsible for the rash characteristic of scarlet fever. So there is another toxic shock syndrome toxin that is produced by Streptococcus pyogenes, that is another example of super antigen. Bacillus anthracis exotoxin, there are usually three exotoxins. Number one is the edema factor, that is adenylate cyclase, that is actually acting as adenylate cyclase. The lethal factor, the second exotoxin, is a protease that cleaves a phosphokinase enzyme required for signal transduction pathways that control the cell growth. And last of all is the protective antigen that form pores in the cell membrane. Cox postulates were actually introduced in 1877. These were introduced to document that the organism that will be responsible uh, related to a specific disease, that organism must be isolated from every patient with that disease. The organism must be isolated free from all other organisms and grown in pure culture in vitro. Like whenever you will be like culturing them, then in the end you must be getting the pure growth of that organism on the culture plates. So that pure organism should be injected into another healthy susceptible animal, and it should be causing disease in that susceptible animal, and after which that organism must be recovered from the inoculated animal, and hence you would be able to culture that organism again. Whenever a bacteria would be entering a human body, then there will be an immune response, and first of all there will be an immediate host response. All the details related to the immune system, immune response, you will discuss in detail whenever you will be whenever you will be taught the chapters related to your the immunity. Here, just to summarize, that whenever a bacteria would be entering into the body, the innate immunity starts to work. First of all, the macrophages and the complement system will be activated. Macrophages can release cytokines like TNF, interleukin 1, interleukin 6, interleukin 8. All of them will be having their specific functions. Like IL-8 is related to chemokine activity, they will be attracting the neutrophils. TNF will be related to the fever and hypotension. IL-1 will be inducing fever. IL-6 will be related to inducing the production of acute phase proteins like CRP. And then there will be activation of complement system. The complement system can kill a bacteria by membrane complex that can produce neutrophil chemotaxis through C5a. The opsonization can be enhanced through C3b, and you will be having the membrane complex C5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That membrane complex can directly lyse the bacteria. So macrophages and complement system are the primary host response whenever a bacteria would be entering into a human body. The endotoxin of a bacteria would also be stimulating the complement system through alternate pathway, plus it will be activating Hageman factor to produce clots, and will also activate the macrophages to release cytokines like TNF. Bacteria are ingested by invagination of polymorphonuclear cells around bacteria to form vacuoles, and the phagocytosis is increased by the opsonins, those agents that are actually um, increasing the process of phagocytosis. After this phagocytosis, there is a respiratory burst triggered in a phagocytic cell, resulting in the production of superoxide radicals, hydrogen peroxide, nitric oxide, that is a very that is actually a vasodilator, and there are also hypochlorite ions that are actually involved in the killing of the bacteria. Till now we have discussed about endotoxin and various other virulence factors. Now we are going to discuss about the exotoxins. The exotoxins are usually having two subunits, A and B. A is the active subunit that possesses the actual toxic activity, while the B is the binding. The actual killing can be of two types. The oxygen dependent mechanism involves production of hypochlorite ions from hydrogen peroxide catalyzed by myeloperoxidases, while the oxygen independent mechanism involves lactoferrins that chelate iron from bacteria and the lysozymes that degrade bacterial cell wall. Macrophages, they also migrate and engulf and kill bacteria through same process, but they lack myeloperoxidase enzyme, so can't make hypochlorite ions. Otherwise, all other enzymes are the same.